All right, so let's use one more session here to wrap up our discussion of the Mandelbulb 3D source code. Now, one of the things I wanted to point out, and in reference to what I said a couple sessions ago, that it's like virtually impossible to compile this. And the reason for that is a number of things. There are libraries that are missing that couldn't have been, for licensing purposes, they were not able to be distributed along with the Mandelbulb 3D software source code. So there's missing libraries, and also too, that if you try to compile, you're actually trying to compile a very old software application that dates all the way back to Delphi 7, which is probably going to put you right around maybe 2010, 2013, something like that. And you're working in a Delphi 11 environment. So compilation is just not going to work. But tell you what, why not? I mean, let's punch it. Let's go to project. Let's see, project compile Mandelbulb 3D. Let's see what happens here. Now remember, now compiling is taking all of this code, which is human readable, and crunching it all down into machine code and all compressed into an executable, and nobody can read or understand the code of an executable. Okay, and you can't reverse compile it, which would protect the copyright and the sensitivity of an executable or a compiled application. Let's see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen here. Okay, there's that Euler reminder again. All right, this kind of, they keep popping this up in front of you. Nothing is for free. Okay, I get it. Okay, so this attempted to compile, it failed, all right, and I've got 3 errors, I've got 36 warnings, and I've got 47 what they call hints. Now look at this, total lines, 42,000. Okay. All right, so it failed on 42,000 lines in main, the main.pass. You can imagine how many lines of code we have in the entire application. This is no small endeavor. There was a lot of work that went into this Mandelbulb 3D software. All right, okay, and it failed on on line 8. So let's see. All right, so yeah, that's a modal. All right, 3 errors. Okay, I've got 3 errors. Okay, an error means that it is just, it's broken code that cannot move forward. Warnings is it's sort of broken, but we could probably still compile it, but they're kind of warning you that maybe there's a feature, a function, or a procedure that's broken. A hint is how you could write the code better. All right, so here, let's OK this. Okay, so there is my first error. And what this is doing, let's see if we can figure this out. Okay, this red here means that it's an error. All right, and when I know I have 3 errors in this one module, and this module is formula names. So because that's a missing class, I'm not going to be able to compile or proceed past this error until that is resolved. And typically what the developer would do is to say, okay, now it's not a class or an interface type, so where is it? Go see if I can find it. It could be a missing library. It could be a class that is missing. It could also be a class that is it's poorly defined. Maybe the name got changed somewhere. More than likely, that is a missing library that is in somebody else's third-party software that I'm never ever going to be able to find unless I go find that missing library, acquire it, and pull it into this development environment. The other option is you can code around it. You could say, well, look, I don't need that function anymore. Let's take it out of there entirely and move ahead. Missing classes is one of the most difficult things to do in terms of working with old software. And old, meaning 10 years old or so, that's old. That's old in terms of software. All right. Okay. So I can't move. I can't compile. I cannot compile this application until I correct those 3 errors, 2 of which we're looking at right here. Let's see if we can see if there's any other errors. No. Okay. So that is an error, and that is the way it's going to be. Down here, error, formula names dot pass, F category not a class or interface type. Here's another error, formula names dot pass, publish field, formula name not a class. Okay, and here's a fatal error. Could not compile. Okay, yeah. So there are several errors in the unit. The unit is kind of a chunk of code in Delphi language. Formula names.pass has 2 errors that will not allow compilation. All right, that's okay. That's okay. The only time that I would care to compile would be that I want to make a change or maybe fix a bug or improve something on the interface for my own personal use. All right, and I compile it, I get a new executable, and I've got a Pat Cook custom Mandelbulb 3D software. Originally, that's why I was looking at the source code and took the time to go get the Delphi development environment. I was thinking, there's a couple things here I'd like to do a little bit better than they did originally, but then I ran into this and I just said, look, it's just not worth putting in a bunch of hours to find missing libraries. And all right, and then of course the other issue is the Delphi environment. I would have to, as I found out, I would actually have to pay this Embarcadero, I would have to pay them about $1,000 in order to get all of the versions of the for compilation that would go all the way back to the Delphi version 7. All right. The other reason that you might push forward here is that you want to make a contribution to the program overall. From what I understand, there have been several software developers, several of them, quite talented when it came to the Pascal development environment, Delphi, that wanted to make a contribution. It doesn't seem like the management structure is there to make a contribution to the Mandelbulb 3D application. So I think that, and there's also Mandelbulb, all right, which was kind of a spin-off of the Mandelbulb 3D software. So the upshot of it seems to be, as of now, as of the 2023 October, it seems that the Mandelbulb 3D is just not going to be ushered forward in terms of software development. That's not necessarily a bad thing, okay? Because it's a good piece of software already. Do we need new features and functionality? Well, yeah, they'd be nice. It'd be nice to resolve some of the idiosyncrasies and possibly even the crashes. That'd be nice. But let me leave you with this thought. The Mandelbulb 3D software was well designed for its time. It does a good job. It gives the Mandelbulb, the 3D fractal artist, a lot of good capabilities for high resolution, high quality still graphics and animation. And I have to say that mission accomplished, actually. And I will conclude by saying I love the fact that the Mandelbulb 3D application does not call home, does not pass any information from my PC off to some corporate server somewhere. I'm very happy that there is no subscription. I am so tired of renting software. I'm very happy with that. I'm happy with its capabilities as it stands, and I can do some pretty cool stuff with it. All right, so that's my thoughts on the subject. So we're over time on this session, but that is a 30,000 foot look at the Mandelbulb 3D source code and how we can use this source code. If you wanted to take the time to get the Delphi environment, you don't have to. You don't have to. You can go into the source code itself and look around right here. I'm gonna click on that. Okay, just to give you an idea, you can look over the source code without getting yourself into the Delphi development environment. You can look it over. Okay, you can look it over just by going up to the GitHub. All right, and take a look at it right there online. All right, so all right, enough of my yakking here. Let's leave it at this. Let's leave it at this. You can look at the software. You can kind of sort of semi-develop it, look around, understand what's going on under the covers better, with the concept that if you understand under the covers better, you'll understand the user interface better. And the better you can get at using the Mandelbulb 3D software, the better you're going to be able to produce Mandelbulb 3D fractal art. Okay, enough said. All right, we're going to get back to our project in the next session. I'll see you there.